Myself and Linda have been married for 2.5 years now. For the past 2 weeks, I've been hell. Unnecessary arguments every now and then that will always lead to hard to resolve malice. I'm not trying to justify myself, but trust me, I don't keep malice. I often try to talk things with her and resolve, but she won't let me speak, as she will always say, "Please, Paul, I really need to be alone and don't feel like uttering a word right now." She actually calls me honey, but Paul when we have misunderstanding. Last night we played some games together and I won all the rounds. She got upset and said I wasn't a gentleman, that if I am, I won't shamelessly win a woman in a game without losing intentionally for the sake of her peace of mind and satisfaction. That led to some arguments, and for the first time after an argument, she finally spoke to me first and suggested we see a therapist. Her reason being that our case might be psychological since it started recently. She also pointed out that since we also have the best sex after a long malice or fight, she started craving for problems intentionally. Knowing within me that everything was normal, I was against it at first, but when I noticed it was already going to lead to another argument, I gave in. We stayed up all night trying to find a good and affordable therapist. We finally got this guy on Instagram who claims that he does free therapy for any client coming the second time upward. His reason being that after the first booking with him, your problems will be solved and won't have any reason to come back for the same reason. We just got carried away with the whole philosophy of this guy. None of his pictures was on the page, so we didn't know what he looked like. But in his bio is written, "On God, the youngest and wisest therapist with the color of wisdom in his head." But we saw few clients who he posted on his page staring and looking all surprised. We assumed and concluded they stare because they can't get enough of his smart and intelligent way of handling matters. It was already 3 a.m. so myself and my wife, Linda, decided to have a rest since we were already booked for the morning the next day. When we finally got to the office the next morning, almost every office other than his in the block was closed. Yeah, it was a Saturday morning, so we didn't worry much since most academic offices don't open on Saturdays. On the door was written, "The rapist," instead of "therapist." We later consoled ourselves since we noticed the door had some irregularities, which might have led to the separation. The bell rang immediately for a therapy session. We got in and behold our therapist. A gangster. A rapist indeed. I saw the fear and disappointment on Linda's face, and I tried to be a man and courageously asked the young man who he was. He said in pidgin, "Na me be una therapist now," which means, "I am your therapist, of course." I later asked him what his job is, just to be sure we ain't talking to a drunk or a madman. He ignorantly told us that don't we know he solves marital problems like sleeping with the wives of men who can't satisfy them right in front of the men for them to learn, and even sometimes impregnating some of them who got married to impotent men. I saw the fear on Linda's face, and at this point a lot started running in my head. I told the young man to excuse us to go get some sex tools we brought from the car to boost the whole session. He was excited and asked us to get them quickly. Okay, Linda isn't dumb. She understood the plan already. She reached for the door even before I could. And since then, after getting home, after the whole experience, we haven't had any quarrel. We've been living fine. So we don't even have any reason to say we want to see another therapist. We later reported the case to the police so that they will make more investigations, because he might actually be a rapist, not the kind of therapist he claims to be. Okay, let me know in the comment section what you feel about the story. Have you had any similar encounter with someone you know? Just let us know and discuss that, and thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and stay close.